What if I told you that you could become completely unrecognizable in just 90 days? This isn't theory. This isn't wishful thinking. This is practice. This is real. Something you'll see in the way you walk, how you speak, how you react under pressure. Imagine that in 3 months, that version of you that hesitates, that procrastinates, that doubts itself, simply disappears. And in its place emerges someone stronger, more focused, more sharp, a doer, a builder, a force in motion. This isn't a dream, it's a choice. If you're truly ready to transform the next 90 days into the most intense, disciplined, and impactful days of your life, you need to dive deep into this plan. Study this content from beginning to end. Watch it more than once. Because this isn't about getting pumped up. This is about making it happen for real, step by step, ritual by ritual, mindset by mindset. This is the plan you've been searching for. But let me be clear from the start. This isn't a temporary boost. This isn't content to make you feel good. This is war. This is a declaration against your old self, against the habits that keep you stuck, against the excuses you've turned into truths. 90 days. One choice. Either you go all in or you stay common. The truth is simple. 90 days aren't magical. They're mathematical. 3 months of radical. Consistency can build new habits that shape your identity, transform small victories into unstoppable momentum, put you ahead of 99% of people who live on autopilot, waiting for someday to change everything. But none of this happens without commitment, without absolute focus, without cutting off your escape routes. You need to treat this cycle as your last chance to follow through on what you've always said you'd do. You've claimed to be ready before. Now it's time to show if you really mean it. If you're truly committed to this transformation, to becoming someone you've never been, then you need to make choices today that you won't reconsider tomorrow. We call these 90-day decisions. You don't decide every day whether you'll follow through or not. That's old you thinking. The new you decides once and lives within that choice. Truth burns bridges. This isn't a figure of speech. It's not a lukewarm decision. There's no plan B. The committed person eliminates the exits. They make retreat impossible. And it's this choice, this firm decision, that transforms them immediately, not later. Now, this is what it means to lock yourself in for 90 days. Your life becomes more direct, more focused, more forged. Every day you accumulate proof that you're no longer who you used to be, and your brain starts to believe it. This is science. Your brain works through patterns, through repetition. Each choice leaves a mark. Once changes nothing. Twice the brain registers it. 90 days of consistency, without excuses, without negotiation. This becomes who you are. And when your identity changes, you don't try anymore. You are. You become someone who wakes up early, sees things through, chooses discipline over comfort. That's why these 90 days matter. Not because it's time to try, but because it's time to become. Let's be honest, this isn't about enthusiasm. This is about physics, about momentum. Most people never reach the right momentum because they live restarting. They do 3 days, skip 1. Do 1 week, disappear for 2. They're always going back to the starting point, always waiting for that click, waiting for motivation. But motivation lies. Discipline is truth. Because discipline doesn't ask how you're feeling, doesn't ask if you slept well, doesn't care about the weather or what others are doing. Discipline simply acts, and action generates momentum, and momentum transforms effort into flow, builds rhythm. This is what separates those who live restarting from those who take off, because there comes a moment when everything shifts. Habits adjust, the body adapts, the mind sees results, something turns, and at that point, the work propels you forward. But to get there, you're going to go through pain, through friction, through phases where everything seems stuck. This is the point most people don't cross, and I want you to remember this. Resistance isn't your enemy, it's your signal. It means you're growing. Think about it. Muscles grow with tension, skills evolve with repetition, identity changes with emotional friction. When it gets hard, when you want to stop, when old habits start calling, that's the edge. That's where most people quit. But that's where you continue because you've already decided. And a real decision doesn't depend on feeling good, it depends on who you want to be. Being great isn't about luck, it's about transformation. And transformation requires payment. Discomfort is the cost you need to pay to reach your next version. There's no smooth shortcut, no easy slide toward real change. You're going to pay with discipline, with focus, with energy. But what you build with that effort is yours. No one can take it away. This new identity you conquer becomes your armor. This new mindset becomes your fuel. From that point on, nothing stays the same. The man who commits to 90 days of unshakable focus doesn't come out the other side the same as he went in. He reprograms his own brain to obey purpose, not mood. He learns to show up even when there's no applause. He changes his narrative from "I'm trying" to "I am." So here's the decisive point. Are you going to keep just flirting with the idea of change, or will you finally become that change? Because when you truly enter, when you eliminate escape routes, burn the bridges, and make retreat impossible, your nervous system adapts. The environment around you starts to change. Your habits begin to bend to the new pattern you've determined. This is how you forge an identity, not in a single day, but in 90 consecutive days of action. One day after another, with consistency. Stop waiting for the path to look smooth. It won't look smooth, and it shouldn't. The discomfort you feel isn't a sign of error. It's the signal that you're going in the right direction. It's the green light telling you to continue. Keep focus. Persist in the construction. Because 90 days from now, if you stay firm, you won't just feel different. You'll be different. The world won't recognize you. But more importantly, you won't even recognize yourself. Now, let me present to you the 90-day lockdown plan. Simple, direct, powerful. It wasn't made to be comfortable. It was made to make you grow. The 4 pillars of transformation. These 90 days are based on 4 pillars, non-negotiable actions you'll do every day. Each pillar was designed to enhance an essential aspect of your identity. When practiced together, these habits will build a version of you stronger, clearer, and more unbeatable than any that has ever existed. Pillar 1. Mind. You will never be better than your own thoughts. So for the next 90 days, you'll dedicate 1 hour daily to feeding your mind with intention. Nothing shallow. This is about focus, reading books that challenge, writing ideas, goals, and reflections, thinking deeply. This hour isn't for distraction. It's to install a new operating system in your brain. Why? Because most people live on autopilot, consuming mental junk full of noise, distractions, and negativity. But you won't be like that anymore. From now on, your mind will be your best weapon. Choose content that elevates. Reflect on who you're becoming. 1 hour per day doesn't just renew your thoughts. It reprograms your identity. You start acting different, speaking different, thinking more strategically. Because now your mind is being fed with purpose. Pillar 2, body. The body sustains the mind. The mind guides the body, one feeds the other. So you'll move every day. Minimum 30 minutes, ideally up to 60. The focus here isn't perfection, it's intensity. You can run, lift weights, swim, walk with purpose, climb stairs. The activity doesn't matter. What matters is moving without exceptions. This isn't about aesthetics, it's about energy, about discipline. Your body is the foundation that sustains your results. A weak body breaks focus, wears down the mind, drains your direction. You don't need a gym, trainer, or music. You just need decision. Every drop of sweat is a declaration. I don't negotiate with weakness. Soon your body will become an anchor, a lever, an amplifier of your identity. Pillar 3, mission. You won't wake up anymore and wait for the day to tell you what to do. Every day you'll dedicate 90 minutes of deep work to what you're building. No phone, No distraction, no unnecessary breaks. If you write, write. If you build, build. If you're learning, study. And if you still don't know what your mission is, finding it becomes your mission. Why 90 minutes? Because most people don't even give that much per week to their own dreams. Do the math. 90 minutes per day over 90 days equals 135 hours. That's equivalent to over 3 full-time work weeks invested in your mastery. This will be your differentiator. Pillar 4, stillness. If your mind never silences, your vision never clears. So every day you'll reserve 10 to 20 minutes for total silence. No phone, no sound, no stimulus. This is the moment when you listen to yourself, where stress dissolves, where your ideas take shape, where you reconnect with what really matters. You can meditate, breathe consciously, or simply sit in silence. What matters is being present. Most people are so addicted to stimulus, they can't even think for themselves anymore. You're going to break that pattern. Train presence, because presence brings clarity and clarity brings power. These are the 4 pillars, simple, raw, transformative. And if you follow them every day, they'll take you to a place the old you would never reach. Pillar 5, no negotiation. You will fulfill what you promised yourself, period. This is the pillar where boys become men, where words gain weight. It's the foundation that sustains the entire structure. Living without negotiation means you don't skip days, you don't create excuses, you don't adapt your standards to your mood. This is the contract you signed the moment you decided to follow through for 90 days. And from there, there's no plan B, no exit. Most people still haven't understood. Success isn't about talent, it's about negotiation. They start strong, but at the first difficulty, they start bargaining with themselves. Today I'll skip, tomorrow I'll make up for it. This has been enough, and little by little, they undermine their own identity. They teach their brain, my words mean nothing, but not you. You'll follow through even when tired, even when bored, even when you don't feel like it, especially when it's hard. That's when transformation happens. That's when your future version starts trusting who you're becoming. Living without negotiation isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Miss the workout? Make up for it tomorrow with double intensity. Miss the focus. Block? Find time and recover, but don't go soft. Not now. Not in this phase. Remember, discomfort is the price of your new version, and that payment is daily. What needs to be eliminated? Distractions. Out. Random scrolling. Out. Empty stimulus. Out. Content that entertains but doesn't build. Out. Your environment is now a battlefield. Everything that doesn't elevate your focus contaminates. If it doesn't multiply your mission, it's out of your day. Gossip. Eliminate. Drama. Cut. Conversations that diminish you. No room for them anymore. Every dialogue in the next 90 days needs to leave you stronger, more conscious, more aligned. Otherwise, it's draining your energy. And your energy, from now on, is sacred. Protect it like you protect a treasure. About alcohol. If you're serious about building your clarity, your strength, your presence, then there's no room for substances that numb your mind. Drinking might seem relaxing, but it's regressive. It messes up your sleep, reduces your vibration, clouds your clarity. Cut it. Not forever, but for now, for this phase, for the sprint toward your best version. About dopamine. Most people aren't addicted to distraction. They're addicted to the chemistry behind it. Notifications, novelty, micro-rewards. Your brain has been conditioned to hunt stimulus pills. And while you don't detox, you'll keep searching for crumbs while you could be building an empire. It's time to reset your baseline. And that means silence, boredom, discipline. The next 90 days aren't about seeking immediate pleasure. They're about reconditioning your mind to find satisfaction in focus, in physical effort, in silent progress. It's going to be uncomfortable at first. It will be. And that's a great sign. The environment around you needs to become sacred. If you try to evolve amidst chaos, disorder, excess stimulus, you'll end up failing. Organize, clean, Make it sacred. This isn't about creating good vibes. It's about raising a solid foundation. Your room, your kitchen, your phone, your computer, all need to be part of your system. Nothing should be random or improvised. Everything should be done with intention. And this also applies to your mind. You'll need to impose limits, protect your time from people who don't understand your path, delete apps, silence notifications, stop checking your phone every instant. You'll be creating a protected space for transformation. Nothing enters, nothing escapes. Because every time you allow yourself to get distracted, you send a message to your subconscious. I'm not 100% committed. And that destroys discipline. But when you move forward without needing applause, even when bored, even with difficulty, you communicate the opposite. This is my new me. Your brain doesn't need more motivation. It needs commands. It's time to stop letting your mood dictate your actions. Stop consulting your emotions before acting. You need to become someone who does what needs to be done, regardless of what you feel. Because if your feelings govern your behavior, your results will always be unstable. Now is the moment to take control of yourself, to reprogram your mind to support your vision, not your weaknesses, not your desires, not your fears. So decide now, what are your non-negotiables? What will be eliminated? What will be maintained? What deserves your energy and what will never have access to it again? And when you have those answers, live within them, lock the system and execute. Because this isn't about being disciplined out of obligation. It's about finally becoming someone who finishes what they start. Most people don't fail because of weakness, but because of lack of consistency. They start excited, set goals, buy notebooks, watch videos. But when the excitement fades, action also disappears. That's the mistake. Trusting motivation. But motivation is an emotional state, and emotions are volatile. You can't build a solid life with unstable fuel. How to maintain consistency without depending on motivation? You build based on identity, not feeling. And this starts with a concept called identity anchoring. You stop acting like the person you were and start acting like who you're becoming. Not someday, now, not when you feel ready, not when results appear. Today, you act as if you've already won. You don't try to be disciplined, you act with discipline. You don't wait to be consistent. You behave as if you're already naturally consistent. Why? Because behavior follows identity. If you believe you're someone who quits, you'll keep quitting. But if you see yourself as someone who keeps their word, you'll maintain it even when it's hard. Forget the obsession with goals. Set them once and take them out of focus. Concentrate on systems. Goal is the destination. System is the vehicle. Growth doesn't come from thinking about the result all the time. It comes from mastering the process. Ask yourself, what do you do every morning, every night? How do you structure your work time, your workout, your reading, your daily check-in? Systems need to be simple. So simple, you don't need to think. You don't negotiate, don't postpone. You just execute. And to keep these systems alive, track them. If it's not being monitored, it's not happening. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's science. Your brain cheats, it exaggerates effort, forgets skipped days, changes the story to protect the ego. But data doesn't lie. Create a habit tracker, use a calendar, put sticky notes on the wall, make it visual. The brain loves visible progress. That sequence of X's, that mark on the calendar, is dopamine connected to discipline, not distraction. And when you see that sequence growing, you won't want to break it. You'll think twice before skipping a workout or going to bed without finishing your commitment, because you see the cost. Create rituals. Wake up at the same time. Keep the same morning start. Have a fixed night routine. Ritual creates rhythm. Rhythm generates momentum, and momentum transforms effort into automatic habit. This is the secret. Automate. Build a life where your habits carry you, not the other way around. Want to bulletproof your 90 days? Make the first and last hour of your day sacred. Morning, reading, movement, silence, clarity of intention. Night, reflection, planning, disconnection. End the day with discipline, and the rest aligns naturally. And when everything seems difficult, because at some point it will, go back to your identity anchor. Ask yourself, what would the man I'm becoming do now? Would he let the habit slide? Would he get lost scrolling instead of maintaining focus? Would he surrender to discomfort, or would he get up even tired, even busy, and do what needs to be done? This question can transform everything, because the answer is always within you, and the more times you choose that answer, the more you transform into it. During these 90 days, 3 walls will appear. The wall between days 7 and 10. Here begins the phase of raw resistance. The excitement from the beginning disappears. What remains is you, the work, and your old version trying to pull you back. It will whisper, "This is hard. Take a day off. You've already done enough." All lies. It's just your old identity begging for comfort. This is your first big test, and it needs to be won in silence. The wall around day 30. You're not struggling anymore. Now you're bored. Routine became repetition. It seems like nothing is happening. No big milestones, just the same process every single day. Most people quit here, not because of pain, but because of doubt. Is this really working? Is it worth continuing? What if I changed everything? Be careful. This is the trap you're about to harvest. Don't abandon the seed. The wall around day 60. This is where everything changes. You wake up and something inside you is different. Your mind is firmer. You talk less, do more. Habits flow with ease. The body responds. The mind stops fighting. Rhythm becomes your ally. And when day 90 arrives, you're not the same anymore. You're stronger, more centered. Your presence speaks before your mouth does. And the most impressive part, you didn't need praise, motivation, or to feel ready. You just showed up every day, without noise, without excuses. Until you became another man. Most people never get here, not for lack of capacity, but for lack of decision. Many just flirt with change, not you. You made a commitment. So when the urge to stop arises, when the mind starts bargaining, remember, I said 90, not 9. 9 days don't change your life, but 90 days of relentless execution can change everything. This is the agreement you made, not with others, with yourself. And this contract is non-negotiable. Say it out loud. I said 90, not 9. Take a deep breath. Reconnect, restart, and continue, because the moment will come, if you stay firm, when effort starts to change flavor. Habits stop weighing you down. Resistance dissolves. That voice that used to say, "This is too hard," transforms into something much more powerful. This is who I am now. This isn't just motivation. This is identity, because repetition shapes who you are. What you do every day becomes what you believe, and what you believe defines how you act, what you tolerate, how you think, and how you behave when no one is watching. You're not just checking off tasks or dragging yourself through obligations. You're leaving a deep message. With each routine fulfilled, each habit maintained, each moment of silent discipline, you're saying, I'm the type of person who does this every day without anyone needing to remind me. You're not trying to be better. You already are better. You're not waiting for an ideal version. You're building that version one habit at a time. This is auto-suggestion. You feed your mind with the identity you chose until it takes root and becomes your reality. So say now, I am the builder. I don't wait for ideal conditions. I create them. I don't wait for the turnaround. I make it happen. Repeat this mentally several times until it becomes stronger than doubt, more solid than resistance, more true than the old you. And when this 90-day cycle ends, there will be no return. You didn't just complete a process. You emerged renewed, sharper, almost unrecognizable, and the world will notice. But you won't need to say a word. Your results will speak louder than any speech. If something inside you awakened now, if there's a fire burning in your chest at this moment, don't let it go out in the next 10 minutes. Don't abandon it when the screen goes dark. Commit. Lock in for 90 days. Mark the beginning. Build the system. Eliminate the noise. And give yourself the chance to meet your strongest version, the one that's waiting for you on the other side of this battle. The choice is yours. 90 days to unrecognizable. Are you in?